In the capital murder case against Bryan Kohberger, marked by a lot of secrecy and a lot of gag orders and people not talking, not wanting to talk, shouldn't talk, won't talk, and for good reason. The lawyer for Bryan Kohberger is now asking the judge to make public their arguments that he should rethink his decision to deny their ask to toss out the charges. Joining me to discuss this and what it means, Bob Motta, defense attorney, host of the podcast Defense Diaries. Go download that as soon as you're done listening to this. What does this mean? Why do they want this piece public, this hearing that was under seal that the judge said, yeah, we're not going to throw this stuff out? What is in that context that they view to be so valuable that the public should see it?
Ultimately, I mean, it's really what they call, a motion to reconsider. They're basically asking the judge to reconsider uh, the ruling with respect to denying their motion to dismiss. In terms of wanting it unsealed, I think that there's just kind of a move to have some of this trial and the pretrial motions be tried in the sunlight, as opposed to in the dark. It's like you've got these two cases, these two major cases, which I'm sure we'll get to Delphi, but both of them have been very secretive in terms of court filings. And I think that there's an aspect, in Delphi, it was the defense that was wanting cameras in the courtroom and wanting things unsealed because they thought that it was to their advantage.
Mhm.
So I mean, not knowing what Ann Taylor knows, I have to believe that she believes that it's helpful in terms of public perception.
Mhm.
That there must be some things contained within that dismissal motion that was argued, and probably the exhibits that were attached there too, that she wants out in the public so that the public can, become outraged, at least, the pro burgers, the people that might think that Kohberger's innocent of
Yeah.
this. So, because there are two camps,
Yeah.
like with most cases. There's people out there that believe that that he was a patsy, and that law enforcement was trying to get an arrest, and he was a guy that they were able to place around the scene, but they don't have anything else, other than mere presence. So that's my best guess in terms of why they want it unsealed. In terms of the motion to reconsider it, and obviously, if it gets denied, she has the ability to at least try to file an interlocutory appeal. Which I don't think would have any legs either. But
If there
I mean,
was something there, wouldn't the judge have already said, "Yeah, let's examine this further"? If there was something that was, of validation to the argument that would somehow clear Kohberger. I mean, why would I'm just assuming here the judge is not repressing something that would be exonerating to Bryan Kohberger.
yeah, maybe, because remember that this one was, she had filed two motions to dismiss, one relating to kind of the historical argument that, that basically the Idaho Supreme Court, their rules had changed
Hmm.
what the Idaho Constitution had said in terms of the standard that had to be met in order for them to get an indictment, which she made the argument that the Constitution had said that it was the same as the burden that you have at trial, which is beyond a reasonable doubt, which for an indictment is crazy. I mean, we all know that it's a much lower standard. It's basically a probable cause standard. Um, and so I knew that that was going to fail. Like I always said, like I think Ann Taylor probably talked about like waiting for the opportunity to be able to file that thing at some point, because they rarely use grand juries in Idaho,
Yeah.
and she'd probably be out to dinner and be like, oh, someday there's this conflict between what the Constitution says in terms of the standard and what the, Idaho criminal rules say is the standard, which are developed by the Supreme Court. And I'm going to argue it because I've
Hmm.
been I've been waiting to argue it, and but so it was legally relatively interesting. I knew it was going to fail, but it was, for a law nerd, it was kind of interesting.
Sure.
But in terms of this was relating to the grand jury. and what was brought before the grand jury in terms of getting that indictment. So from her perspective, there's probably again, like I don't think that it's really a move to where she thinks that she's going to prevail
Mhm.
based on what was contained. I think it's more to get it out there where the defense, in the same way that they've done in Delphi, are trying to get some of the, like the reality that look, there's not as much as they're making you think there is in
Mhm.
terms of what they have against my client. You know what I mean? So, because
Yeah.
if we get to see the grand jury transcripts, we're gonna know
Yeah.
what they brought to them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Essentially
hold on.
trying to create an aura of some sort of reasonable doubt there to the public prior to actually getting a jury of potential jurors someday.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, essentially,
Yeah.
it's like again, I keep making the analogies between that and Delphi, but
Mhm.
that's essentially what the defense did there.
Yeah.
They said, look, there's alternate suspects here. There's an alternate theory of what happened to the girls, and typically you don't see the defense get that out to the public.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that Ann Taylor's probably been keeping an eye on that case and kind of seeing how the defense attorneys have been handling that,
Mhm.
and as a defense attorney, I appreciate the way they handle it. I don't think that it's like I've always had a problem with the fact that it's always the state's theory of the case, which is all it is going
Mhm.
into a trial, that's always out there for the public to consume for
Yeah.
2, 3 years leading up to trial. I mean, that's all that people typically ever hear. So of course everybody thinks it's guilty, in every case, because all you've heard is the evidence that the state has put forward in terms of what they believe happened,
Mhm.
which is just a theory,
Yeah.
but when you don't have another side rebutting it, then of course people have nothing to compare it to in
Sure.
order to say, well, but what about this?
Mhm.
When that's not out there, but when it is out there, it changes things. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, I'd love to read the grand jury transcripts. I
Yeah.
hope they do unseal it.
It'll be interesting to watch. We'll have a dramatic reading of it
Yeah,
next week with
definitely.
some music and
And
violins or
then
something.
Kohberger got in his white Elantra and drove about the property. Yeah.
With a special appearance by Keith Morrison.
Yes.
Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks